everyone, I hope your weekend is going well. Today we have an actual book review of Prince Lestat and the Realms of Atlantis. This one. This one. Prince Lestat and the Realms of Atlantis. First note, I think the title is too long. Not a big deal, just a small nitpick. The title is a bit of a mouthful. So let's just dive right into this one basically. I'll do like a synopsis and then all of my thoughts, and everything will be spoilery related for this and all of the Vampire Chronicles, just to cover my own butt. Because I have some words. I have some words. They're not bad words, but I have some words about this one. So first off, Prince Lestat and the Realms of Atlantis. I'm just gonna call it Lestat and Atlantis for if I ever have to say the title again. Just Lestat and Atlantis. It's shorter. So Lestat and Atlantis is basically about the vampire covens and the vampires that we know and love. Lestat, Louis, Marius, Armand. They're all here, and they're all trying to establish their own government and lifestyle, with their main hub being in Paris, in Lestat's childhood home, which I thought was an amazing detail, to be honest. And Lestat, good old Prince Lestat himself, the one the brat prince that we love, of course, from the last book, again, spoilers for everything, from the last book, he has the vampire core within himself now, which is a not exactly disembodied spirit that can talk to him in his head, Amal. So this other spirit, Amal, mostly resides within Lestat, basically his neck. It's always kind of said like it's in his neck, or there's like a parasite within his neck. I'll get pin in that, come back to that in a quick second. So Lestat is basically their leader, and they're trying to establish their own rules, their own governance, and I love the dynamic that Lestat is their leader, but he's the iconic leader. He's the symbolic leader that everyone loves, everyone knows, everyone goes to him for questions and answers. But in the background, not quite background, because everyone is aware of it, Marius is actually the one kind of pulling the strings. Marius is doing all of the like hard diplomatic work that Lestat doesn't want to do. And I love that dynamic. I love that it's not even like a rivalry, because like everyone is aware Lestat is the prince. Symbolically, we all love him, but Marius is the one really just keeping everything together. Even Lestat acknowledges this. And I'm wondering if that's actually set up for the next book. I don't know. I don't even know the synopsis of that one yet. So that's an idea. So yes, main setting for this one is that the vampires are trying to make their own coven, their own lifestyle. They're holed up in Paris mostly. They're all over the world, but their main central hub is Paris, in Lestat's home. And Lestat's their prince, Marius is kind of the diplomatic leader. And then weird occurrences kind of start happening, because it turns out one of the vampires, named Roland, has been keeping a person, prisoner in his basement for a couple of centuries, from what I understood, a long time, drinking from this person. And this person never dies. This person never dies, no matter how much the vampire drinks of his blood. You maim the person, it's perfectly fine. This person, name is Derek, is an alien, and somehow he hasn't been discovered. Their entire alien race hasn't been discovered yet. They're discovered by the vampires accidentally, which I kind of thought was fun. Apparently Roland was just going around looking for a midnight snack, sees this beautiful Derek standing in front of him, goes to get a snack, guy doesn't die. Keeps him. I mean, from like a vampire perspective, yeah, if you find out that this being, you can get all the blood you need out of one person and they don't die, I'm not surprised. He held him in the basement. But poor little Derek, you mostly actually understand all of this through Derek's eyes as well. And Derek honestly is a good person. He's a victim through this entire thing. He doesn't deserve any of the stuff that he has been put through. We have a core line! There she is. Hi. She's on top of the bookcase again. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, Derek. Derek is basically discovered accidentally by the vampires, and through a series of events, through the radio that Benji, another vampire, kind of communicates to all the other vampires with. Through various means, other aliens start coming out of the woodwork and kind of rediscovering themselves in their own found family way. They've all known each other, they've all been separated, and they're all trying to reunite and find each other. Plus, Derek is kind of trying to escape. So, we have aliens. It's definitely an interesting introduction. I'm not opposed to it, but I'll come back to this as well. I like the aliens themselves. One thing I will mention that I thought was just not a big deal. I thought it was kind of strange. I liked their alien names. Like, there's Capatria, there's Welf, there's Garrican, and then there's Derek. You gotta admit, Derek doesn't exactly fit, does it? Like, Capatria, Welf, Garrican, those are like really unique names. I've never come across them. Maybe they're in another culture that I don't know of. Honestly, maybe. But Derek doesn't really seem to fit. That's not a big deal. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a thing. So the aliens are trying to all reunite within themselves. Derek is escaping through a different means that they didn't know really existed, because apparently if these aliens if they sever a limb, if they cut off their hand, the hand will grow back completely fine, but then that hand will turn into a clone of the original alien. So they reproduce that way. Again, kind of strange. It's not really brought up a whole lot, other than possibly providing worries for later. Because in this one, the clones don't really do a whole lot. They're introduced, just like the aliens are introduced. But the clones themselves don't do a whole lot. Granted, Derek's clone does get him out from Roland, so that's good. Other than that, they don't really do a whole lot. Now, amongst all of this, all of that background, we have our vampires, we have some new aliens, we have a problem that the vampires are kind of starting to face with Amal, the voice in Lestat's head. He's getting antsy, and he kind of knows about these alien beings. Through a whole other series of events, we learn that Amal knows these aliens. He's kind of one of them, but he's not exactly an alien. He's a human that was abducted by aliens and then brought back to Earth to wipe it out. Amal then chose to not do this, to not kill all of Earth. So then the 4 new aliens were sent down to kill Amal and then wipe out the Earth. They don't do this either. That's why we have everything. And amongst all of that, while Amal was human, maybe like an augmented human, after he was abducted, he built Atlantis. Amal built Atlantis with some alien technology, inviting a bunch of humans in. It's a beautiful utopian, there's always peace, it's always great, everyone's happy. And then another race of alien beings that abducted Amal and made our 4 original aliens that we knew, our alien friends. Those alien beings, different race, destroy Atlantis and basically wipe out all of Earth. The characters, the 4 aliens we know, Capatria and Derek and all of them, because they can't die, they weren't wiped out. They were left alive, just in this barren wasteland, and they eventually just like froze in the Arctic, and they slowly started waking up over time. Kind of like the dynamic of a vampire going to sleep in a coffin or underground to like sleep for a couple of centuries and then wake back up. So that's mostly my synopsis, but you can probably see where this review is going based on how I've been talking about it. I don't mean this story any ill will. I honestly don't. I love Anne Rice. I love her writing style. I love the details she goes into. I made a connection in this one. You know how Tolkien would spend so much time describing a tree, or then George Martin describes so much time describing just a plate of food or some dinner? Anne Rice takes her time with the clothing that they wear. She gets really detailed in what Lestat is wearing every single time, or what Louis is wearing, every single outfit, all of them. Every single outfit is described perfectly, and I don't mind it. Because I'll admit, I'm not always one for flowery writing, but sometimes when I am, I like those little details, and I just like the way Anne Rice herself writes it. So yeah, I don't mean this story any ill will. If I had to give it like a rating, it'd probably be like a 3 out of a 5 for me, because I love Lestat, I love the characters, even the aliens, and I enjoyed the dynamics that were coming about. I love the relationship between Lestat and Emilie, because that's a really complex one, but I don't think everything meshed in together well. And what I mean by that is that everything Atlantis and alien-wise, I don't think it fit 100% well. It felt a little out of place. It was too explainy, and there was an entire 100 pages in here just called Capatria's Tale, which is her just explaining what they are, who they are, their alien race, the alien race who made them finding Atlantis and going to Earth and explaining what Atlantis is, and then meeting Emilie and getting an explanation from him of how he was abducted and how he built Atlantis and then the whole destruction of everything. It was all an info dump. It was all exposition, and I skimmed through a lot of that. One aspect that I do really like of with the aliens and Emilie as well, is Capatria wanted to get Emilie out of Lestat's head, and the vampires kind of wanted this as well. The vampires knew it was dangerous because if the core vampire, if Emilie and the host with Emilie, Lestat right now, is hurt in any way, every single vampire in the world feels that same pain. If Lestat were to die, everyone's dead. It's the trope of cutting the head off the snake. And I don't like that trope. I thought it was okay here, to be honest, because I didn't even realize that trope was there until now, but... So yeah, I'll admit, I didn't even realize that trope was in here at first, but honestly, I didn't notice it at first in this one, and I'm okay with it in that case. So if Lestat is hurt or killed, everyone else is killed. And Capatria wants to get Emilie out of Lestat's head for good. Hopefully without killing Lestat, but she doesn't know if it's gonna kill him or not. Or if Emilie is even gonna survive. So there's that tension that's built up. But then I think it's just taken care of too quickly. Because they ambush Lestat, which I thought was fun. That was surprising. That was a good scene. They ambush Lestat. They get him in like this hospital security table. They strap him down. They wait until he falls unconscious when the sun rises. He's safe. He's in like a windowless room that he can't just burn up into ashes. But he's unconscious, and then the scene jumps, and then Lestat's head is silent, and Emilie is gone. And before this, the vampires did their own experiment of separating the individual vampires from their like web of connections. So that way, even before the ambush, if Lestat was hurt, no one else would feel it. So that was taken care of again kind of quickly. And then Emilie was taken out of his head kind of quickly. The ending just felt too wrapped up in a bow. I think it was setting up things for later on, like Marius, like some ghosts that were mentioned as well, because there's a whole thing about the ghosts and the Talamasca in here too. And the aliens and the way they procreate with all of their clones. So there's definitely some like setup here. But the setup within the story of like Emilie and the connections and the web connections, that was wrapped up a little too quickly. I do hope this review does make sense, because I am trying to keep it as concise as I can. But yeah, I will admit, I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. And I think that's okay, honestly. I mean, you can actually see them all there by the unicorn. I have all of them, except the last one. I need to get the last one. So, in a series that long, it makes sense that you're not gonna like every single one. I'm not a fan of Merrick either. And Anne Rice wanted to attempt something in this book, and I admire her for that. She wanted to try something new, and that's perfectly fine. It may not have landed with me, but it might have landed with someone else. Or even just Anne Rice herself. Maybe she probably just really enjoyed writing this story and thought it was fun and just went for it. Kudos! So I am going to get the next book as well. I'm definitely going to get the one after this. I think it's called Blood Communion? I think it's called Blood Communion. I'll look that up. But yeah, I will still continue on with Anne Rice's stuff, and I'm probably going to reread... I do want to reread the entire Vampire Chronicles now that I actually have them all, and now that it's actually all, like, complete. That being said, I have heard that Blackwood Farm and Blood Canticle are no longer canon. Is that true? I don't know if that's true, because if it is, even if it's not, I might skip those ones. I didn't like those ones. I have them here. I wasn't a fan of those ones either. Maybe it's just because Lestat wasn't in them all that much. I don't know. I gotta have my dose of Lestat. I love him. So yeah, on that note, I hope it wasn't too rambly. I hope that did make a modicum of sense. I respect the story. I do admire Lestat and Atlantis for what it tried to do. It didn't land with me, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. I love aspects of it. I just didn't like the entire thing overall. The Atlantis stuff felt a little strange. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Anyway, I am gonna sign off. Feel free to subscribe and like the video. It really does help everything. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!